Welcome to the center of light.
Access granted.
Everybody has access to the garden. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. I don't know what day of the week it is. I swear to you, I don't. I think it's Friday, Thursday. Wow. Lost in a wormhole. Hello, everyone. It is Thursday. Wow. April 2nd. Everybody forgot about April's Fool. I guess we got tired of being fooled. Let's see who's here. Ignacio Rubio, Joey Eyes Keller, Rena, Alex, Bradford, what's up, bro? Keith Neal, Rhonda Little, Aubrey LaBeouf, what's up, old childhood friend? Center of Light, Center of Divine Unfoldment and Reinforcement. We're going to have some fun tonight. Tonight we're speaking about Center of Light, Sit and Spin. Hello, Roxanne. Sit and spin. Whatever. We're definitely going to do some spinning. Center of Light, spin. Merkabah. What is the Merkabah? Hello, Diana. What is the Merkabah? Have you ever heard that term before? Have you ever seen the Da Vinci Man? What's it called? The Vitruvian Man? With his arms out and his legs out. The Vitruvian Man. He's got a set of arms here, and then he has a silhouette of other arms here. This is all geometric shapes. This is all sacred geometry. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Dana. So, Center of Light. By request of a tribe member, Krista Huggins, she said, Keith, why don't you do a presentation on the Merkabah? I said, wow, what a great idea. And so the Merkabah, what is the Merkabah? Can everybody hear the music and the vocal okay against each other? I'm going to ask you this until I'm really solid and confident that everything is on point. While I'm doing this, I want to say hello to everybody on YouTube. What's up, Jeff Toberman, Burrow Ham Sandwich? Good to see you, Jeff. Diane says, blessings, lots of blessings to all from Trinidad and Tobago. What's up? Everyone share this beautiful work. I'm going to drop some links in this forum. It's for copyright purposes, so I don't get a spanking on my hiney. But that first link up there is to readings and counseling, 30-minute sessions. Click that link. It'll take you right to your calendar. Find your spot. Click it. I get a message. You and I dialoguing one-on-one. Hello, Jen Morrow. Morrow. Amy Jameson. I'm showing people in this feed here, which is kind of cool. I like the feed of everyone that is participating. Laura Pretium. Hi, Laura. From Australia. Welcome, beautiful, sexy human soul. Center of Light, sit and spin. We're going to sit and spin. We're going to be speaking about the Merkabah. What is the Merkabah? I guess I'll jump right in and start giving you a little bit. I'll throw you a fishing lure. I'll throw you some bacon or some vegan bacon, whatever you like. It's your light body. It's what you really are. Okay? And so the light body is comprised of multiple colors. You see that when you have auric photography done, or if you've ever seen auric photography or Kirlian photography. It's your light heat signature. You sign your name. This is who I am. The Merkabah. Again, have you seen the Da Vinci guy? What is it called? I have it in my software. Hang on. I want to see what it's called. The Vitruvian Man. Well, this is the sacred geometry surrounding this particular art piece of work, spiritual knowledge by Leonardo da Vinci. He did the Last Supper. He did David. Didn't he do the chapel? So the man is connected. He was an avatar, like this divine man here. This man is a divine avatar of, I guess you can say, spirituality, God on earth. And that way, people like Da Vinci and other people who bring through such creative energies, These people are connected as well. They just don't go around reciting scripture looking like a holy man. They have a paintbrush, or they have a guitar, or they sing, or they're a fantastic chef. I mean, where do you get these qualities and these faculties of perfection of the human being from? Only such perfection can come from a perfect source. It's not rocket science, is it? Where does beauty, peace, and love come from, regardless of the path? Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all this. Some people get offended. They think there's only one way. Well, let me ask anyone who thinks that way something very simply. Where does love, peace, creativity, all that is beautiful come from? Would you say it comes from one source that we call God, by whatever name you choose to call it? And if your answer is yes, then there's no debate. So anyone who lives in peace and is very loving and does things that are beautiful, that they qualify for beauty to carry such a label, God could be standing in front of you at the grocery store when we could go. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Merkabah, the light body that people who become full from within, fulfilled, full of themselves, and they begin to express that outward. Here's the good part. When you become aware of this aspect, when you become aware of who you are, then you begin to take this energy field that surrounds every living thing. The benefits of being a human being is you have the willpower to tap into that which sustains your life in the first place, just to become consciously aware of it. And when you do, you begin to spin, whether you know you're doing it or not. Oh, it's moving all right. Your light body is moving in the form of, have you ever seen the Star of David? Triangle pointing downward, triangle pointing upward. They interlap around a circle, which represents wholeness, unity, divinity, all these beautiful qualities of God. God reaches down, man reaches up. It's called heaven on earth. Jesus was the personification of that and said, follow me. All right. Personification of that and says, follow me. So forth and so on. So the advantage we have is being human. We can actually take this geometric shape, this sacred geometry, the tetrahedron, and begin to spin it. If you've seen the movie Contact with Jodie Foster, when they were building the conveyance, the machine, the $1 trillion machine, it was a gyroscope. They would spin these rings, one this way, one this way. I can't do them at the same time. It's like patting your head and then they would have another one that would just spin freely from the inertia, from the energy of the others. And they create this chaotic order. And they begin to open up a field of light, a portals to whatever dimension they're targeting. We don't need the hardware craft because we are the software. And when we learn how to stop being so hard on ourselves and soften up the rings, the Merkabah begins to spin faster and faster and faster until you get to this point in your life, your existence rather, that you become conscious of your field of light. And as you begin to move this, you can find meditations, I'll probably do one later, that will place you in the core. Jodie Foster in the movie, when she fell down and she got to the core, she was gone. I done this many years ago with a dear friend of mine, I'm not sure if he's in here, Kenya Young. We did a meditation, and I did a Merkabah meditation. I didn't follow any particular script. I just opened up my heart with intention and sincerity that I want to experience it. And what happened was, I imagine one ring moving one way, another ring moving another way, and another one just doing its own thing. And once I got this energy moving, I found myself in a pyramid. I'm not going to say it's the granddaddy pyramid on Giza, but it was a pyramid, and I shot through the apex, and I'm above the apex, and another dimension entirely. So why would one want to activate or ever become aware of the Merkabah? That's a fantastic question. It's called spiritual liberation. The power that lives in you creates worlds and universes. Does it not? Everyone has access to the garden. It's called heaven on earth. It's where you can become the embodiment of the celestial down to the terrestrial. And then we become the super ultra celestial. You, my friend, are on an infinite journey to nowhere. That's where you're going. You're on an infinite journey to absolutely nowhere. Now here, just a little space. Fall into that little space. And in that little space is everything you can possibly imagine and infinitely beyond what you can't. Sounds like a delicious ride, doesn't it? Hello Sue, hello Tina. Within this Merkabah link, my brother, Joe, William, Jen says, creating comes from the soul, as many unique expressions as there are souls on the planet. Blessings, she says, blessings back. So once we begin to activate our light body, and I'm going to help you to touch into your light body, you're going to feel it. You're going to experience it. It's not that hard. In fact, it's been right there the whole time. What the Merkabah can do is beyond amazing. I'm going to read some of that for you from my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. New book coming out July 31st, 2020. Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. This is what's happening to every human being right here and right now. Now, for some, the crossing of the bridge to the soul is going to be a joyous, exhilarating ride. For others, it's going to be a terrible, painful, suffering, exhilarating ride. Because we're in the gate. We're in the soul. The soul's becoming present. It's stepping forward. It's always there. In fact, it's the voice you hear speak. It's the ears that you're using to listen. It's your voice when you speak. That's all soul. Without it, you can't exist. In fact, it's what you are. In fact, even greater than that. But let's stick with the soul for now. And so, when we become aware and begin to move, manipulate, to use a word, activate, play in the arena of spinning our energy, you open up doorways, galaxies, universes, infinite potential within inside yourself. There's nothing it cannot achieve. Nothing. So, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, July 31st, 2020. 30 years of work. Went into the fashioning of this beautiful piece of God. It's sacred to me. And I hope that I can become the embodiment of that fully. So I don't become a hypocrite. It's good to see everyone. Welcome, Center of Light. Let me go through my gamut and then we'll get started into some mate and titers. Yanava, for the people who are just coming on board the Yanava train. I'm going to share with you what that is. Hello, YouTube. Look over this that I'm posting now, please. Jeff says he can barely hear the background. If you're listening on your phone, that's probably why. So can everyone in here hear me okay against the music? Is the music good? Is everything rocking? Yanava. What is Yanava? You look down here, these three ancient fire letters. The Y has an O in the yoke. Why? Well, because the Y has an O, 0 in the yoke. Represents wholeness, completion, God, unity, perfection. Isn't that beautiful? Remember, where does beauty come from? The fact that you're able to recognize beauty yourself is a mirroring that's happening. An all-knowing within your soul immediately comes up and says, I understand what this is. What is that understanding? Where do you think that understanding comes from? Gray matter in your head? When you're a disembodied being, you don't have gray matter in your head. But you know. It's not hard. We've become monkeys. Around all the nonsense and the lost information, the truth. And the truth is, it looks like you. You are the living word. The word is what sustains you. The word is what gives you ongoing life. So once we become spiritual adults, which where we are now, many of us, many people, you begin to play in the garden, which is to activate your light body, to activate your field, to go, I want to go see a star being born. You show an intention of the feeling that you have. You begin to use your spiritual might, your love for God, your ability and love for people and being of service. This is power. It will open up doorways, not only within you, but everything around you and everything that you are and everything that you magically touch. You can watch a star being born. You can visit with deceased loved ones. You can go to universes. You can travel through the cosmos. Whatever it is your little fanciful heart desires. So what would be the point of that? There's no other reason. You're a spiritual being awakening in a meat suit that has the potential of what you were able to do before you came into the meat suit. Heaven on earth. Heaven is where you came from. That's the word we call it. And that's where we hope to go back. But we don't have to be there or live here and then go back if we're good. The masters, Jesus, Swamiji, Sai Baba, Paramahansa Yogananda, Ananda Mayi Ma, Mother Teresa, all these beings that walk before says, this is the way, this is the way. And so when we follow the way, the Merkabah begins to spin faster and faster. But now, I'm going to share with you this presentation, my heart, which is imbued with spinning. Spinning you into a blissful state, a more blissful state than you may have been lately because you're having a bad week, even if I just bring a smile to your face for this day. I love it. So, let me continue with my monologue with Jay Leno. Tonight, Center of Light, sit and spin, Merkabah. You are on an infinite journey to absolutely nowhere. Yah, the why, with the circle, that's divinity. The heart, the will, the might, the power, John. Na is the mind when it's balanced, na. And va is the backbone, ya na va. It's congruent with who you are at your essence. It's a sacred seed syllables. This is who you are before time ever was about being time. One we are. We are all one. One family. Only one family. We are all only one family. You, I, he, she, this, that, and all. We're all universal family. Whatever the religion may be, whatever the race may be, whatever the nation may be, whatever the language may be, we are all human beings. We are all human family. Let us unite in the name of humanity. Let us unite for peace and prosperity. Let us unite for ourselves and for all. Let us unite for our Mother Earth and the universe. Unity makes us strong and peaceful. Unity brings us bliss and prosperity. If we unite, we can make miracles. If we unite, we can throw away poverty. If we unite, we can make the earth a heaven. If we unite, we can bring the Lord to the earth. Unity is our strength. Humanity is our life. The love of God enfolds me. The light of God surrounds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. Here's the phrase for the day. Hello, Carolyn. Be unshakable. Be be unshakable. Plant yourself as a being into your mother earth, into the earth, lowercase e, earth. Plant yourself into the earth. You can do it with your intention right now. Instead of being so flighty, which is cool if you want to spin your Merkabah, but being grounded. I'm grounded. In fact, it takes, if your Merkabah and your light body is energy, you have to ground it in order for it to work properly. It's electricity. There's no different than a plug in the wall. If it's not grounded, it will not work. So when we are not grounded, properly planted, we don't work to our fullest potential. So when you ground yourself, it's an attitude. Yes, walking on the earth is a great thing to do. There's many different ways you can intend to ground yourself, but the intention to ground yourself, period, is the lightning rod. Whether you intend to walk, intend to eat food, intend to have sexual contact, intend to do this thing or that thing or this thing or that thing, that's all grounding. But the intention of doing something to ground yourself is the initial spark of light that grounds you and plants you into the earth. Without being grounded, your energy will not work properly. If your electricity in your house is not grounded, you can flip that switch all you want and the lights won't come on. Likewise, when we're grounded, our light is able to come on, so to speak. I am now going to play you a video, a snippet I did from last night. I'm going to get into the Merkabah, the light body, the Christ principle body, the Christ body, that the garment of light that is around everyone in just a bit. But I think this video snippet, it lasts about 8-10 minutes, whatever. It's very, very on point. It's going to talk about this little guy right here. I went into vessel mode, even though I didn't close my eyes. It just came over me and took over. It explains what this could be, ultimately, at its essence, is, and your relationship to it. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard, Center of Light. From last night, let me get it. June says, for me, the stream is better on YouTube. I am froze on Facebook. Switching over now. Let me see what's happening in the room. It's okay for me. I'm not sure for you, June, if it's just a lack of conversation between your device and Facebook. Sometimes things get a little this or that. So I understand. But also, everyone, hello, Ricky Vito. I am going to get out of... I love conspiracy theory. It's one of those things I like to do. Oh, my light must have been left on. So it needs to recharge. Welcome to Center of Light. Center of Light. We need to become like this globe, this sphere. Clear-minded clarity, so that when we push our divine fire into it, I love this, this is gorgeous, it's able to amplify, let that amp fly, to amplify and express itself outward. We do that all the time anyway. We're just not, or have not been, clear. This can be likened, let's just say for this can be likened to a particle of God. It's a particle. It's a sphere. God is everywhere. It's amplified. You can bet God is clear. Absolute divine clarity. So analogously, likewise, this is a purpose, perfect representation, by definition, visual stimulus. It's altering me by doing so, because it's now becomes an altar, and I'm being altered by it because I'm allowing myself to explore my imagination made in the image of God and the likeness of what this is for me and could mean for me. So we can call this a particle of God. But that's not really the whole truth. The whole truth is that in and of itself is God, because everything is a hologram. Everything contains the divine. Are we conscious containers of the divine, is what the question becomes. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Bella. I love your name, Bella Dreamshade. That's just gorgeous. Barbara Brown's got a nice ring. Anna Yoga. Yeah, I mean, all these gorgeous names. Robert Harrison. All right, boy, let me tell you something. What's up, Ben Parvar? So this globe represents God, that which is pure, spherical, has to be. I can prove it. The single most minute point of anything is the core of creation. But yet, on a scale that we don't understand, so infinitely small, and it never stops. So the point is, from this plate of pure consciousness, God, outward it expresses everything that gives life, has given life, and will forever give life and sustain all of creation. We are the creators, so to speak, but not really. We are putting a filter in front of that which is pure, that which is clear, that which is absolutely aware and perfect with itself, just happy with itself, doesn't complain, it just is. It's just being simply being itself. So our best ploy in this time we're living in is to be that. Just to be that. How to do that becomes the question. How do we do that? No one can tell you how. I mean, no one can show you. Someone can even tell you how. This is the purpose of an altar, is to find those things that alter your being into a higher vibration, which is needed at this time. You want to know the game right now to be in, to play it to the max, to where you're never late for a party, so to speak? One is to be of service. Right now's the time to get in there and help other people however you can, as much as you can. Your vibration will lift. Like that. Poof. Service is of the highest calling. And so the other is to be clear. To be clear. To understand that what is happening is going to require the all of you. All of you. Absolute involvement. Absolute involvement. When you intend to be altered from within, that which around you, not only does it become your altar because you're always in a state of grace to that which is around you, because you are personifying grace in that very moment, you begin to change the structure of the entire matrix, the entire world, simply by you not participating in the noise. As I was going to say a little earlier, I am getting out of the noise. I don't care about the coronavirus. I am cautious. Welcome back, my friends, to Center of Light. Sit and Spin. Come up with these crazy titles. Sit and Spin, the Merkabah. Thanks to Krista Huggins for the beautiful suggestion. What is the Merkabah? It's your car, man. It's who you are, but it can be seen as a vehicle. In fact, it is a vehicle. It's a light vehicle. What can this light vehicle do? It can do anything you want it to do. Well, give me an example. There is no example. If you can imagine it, it can do it. Because it is the engine. It is your engine for your field of light. Oh my God. It is your engine. It is the combustion that says, yes, master, whatever you want. Boom, so to speak. The engine fires off, and whatever level of metaphysics it does, quantum mechanical physics it does, to generate the energy that you can literally time travel. We're going to talk about this. You've seen many signs of this throughout antiquity. Leonardo da Vinci's, I forgot what it's called. I call it the Da Vinci Man because I can never remember. It's called the Vitruvian Man. But it's also sacred geometry. All of his work was sacred geometry. Paintings of a master. Spiritual master. So forth and so on. Hello, Krista. Hello, Lincoln. Hello, Linda. Becky. Peter Coyle's up here. Ramona. Carson Ann. All right, let's get down to the presentation of the Merkabah. I've done it. You can do it too. It's what we are becoming. That's the goal. Again, I go back to this beautiful possibility. All of us are encased in that. In fact, that's what we are. We still have a tendency to separate ourselves from this to that. But we are this expression. But for now, if it helps us to stay in our humility, which opens up the gate that way, then fine. I want to show you a couple of images. This is the Merkabah. It's from the Jewish tradition because the Merkabah, but there are different cultures that call it different things. Same way we call God different things. Same way we do eat different food. Culture, cult. It's a cult. No matter what, you live in a cult. Your religion is a cult. Your family is a cult. You know what the definition of cult is? Everyone following one way of being, one way of thinking, one way of understanding something, and it becomes culture. So, I want to show you, at least from this angle, what the Merkabah is. It's your light engine, it's your light vehicle, which activates you in your light body. So where you go into meditation and like, what is the word I'm using? When you spin something and it does it forever and it's on its own, not centrifugal force, gyroscope. So you have these rings, or you can spin your field differently, and you have a third one overlapping and it does what it wants on its own. And they create this somewhat of a chaotic order, and they open up stargates. This is the idea, be it from the Jewish tradition, calling it the Merkabah or the Merkabah. But I'm also going to show you the Vitruvian Man by Leonardo da Vinci. And you're going to see some geometry involved. Everything's math. You sitting in that chair doing what you're doing, there is a mathematical formula. And every time you move, numbers blip. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. The Vitruvian Man, Leonardo da Vinci. Let me take one of those out. The Vitruvian Man. As you look at this, in the power center, in a solar plexus, or actually just above the navel, let's say it's actually it has to be, it's the power center. The power center. We're talking about the Merkabah here, the vehicle, the light vehicle, the Christed vehicle. to be wherever, to be whatever you choose to do. This is the level we are moving to, the heaven on earth prophecy that is taking place, convincing us that what we're seeing outside today in quarantine is happening. That is not true. That is not true at all. The power center, you see that chakra particularly completely effulgent, illuminated with the light and power of 10,000 suns. And then we see the star, that's apparent. But do you also see the Star of David, which is a triangle coming down, and it meets with the point of a triangle coming up? This is the symbolic energy for heaven on earth, God reaching down via his love. When we are devoted to expanding ourselves to become conscious of our divine parent, we actually touch points consciously. This is where we are at. And in so doing, we are able now to spin the Merkabah, as we wish. You literally, have you ever seen those amusement, I wouldn't necessarily call it a ride, attraction? They put you in this thing, and it's a gyroscope, and you just do your thing, right? That's exactly, literally exactly what happens and what you do to yourself to activate your Merkabah. And then something opens up inside of you. The power center begins to push. And into wherever you want, you are. How do I know this? I've read a lot of books, and I've experienced this many times. Every time we have an experience of a mystical nature, you have had that happen to you as to why you were able to go where you went. You just don't remember all the twisting and turning. Some of this happens in the higher mind as well. So we got to give it its credit. The monkey wants his banana once in a while. And so as we looked at the Vitruvian Man, the explosion, the ignition happens in the gut. It happens in the power center. In fact, people who can use telekinesis will tell you that they bring the current down from the head and up through the butt, through the coccyx, and there's the energy coming down is positive, and the energy going up from the earth is negative. And when they meet in the solar plexus, that's where they draw the power from. Notice its relationship to the Kabbalah's a tree of life. It's the structure of the human being, the divine structure of the human being. You see all the chakras available? Notice the image behind the Vitruvian Man. It's a doorway to a galaxy. It's a portal. It's an inlet. And he's moving through the galaxy to experience creations of the higher God mind. Everything, without exception, has sacred geometry, which brings it into existence. In fact, its existence is the geometry. Now, some geometries are not so sacred. For example, feces. There is a geometric pattern, there's a geometric order that allows it to be feces. That's why it keeps its form. It's somewhat static. And a lot of the geometry chain is broken, distorted. Garbage, something that goes sour, a horrible experience. This is all geometry. It's all sacred geometry. Everything has code. Everything has light. Everything is energy which can never be destroyed nor created. So the Merkabah is attached to an infinite web. Basically, it's your mouse. It's your mouse. Click, click, and you're there. Click, click, and you're there. But you have to boot up via meditation, selfless service to other people, which can become a meditation. This is how you begin to activate the Stargate, the field, the Merkabah. The triangle coming down, the triangle going up. And they meet in the middle. Hence, heaven on earth. And the power center is in the solar plexus. Pretty cool, isn't it? I want to read you something from something I found on the internet today after my research. I want to take a peek at my forums. I love my sexy human soul tribe. Jeff, brother, always good. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Dagny. Debbie. Peter Coyle says it's all got to do with the sacred geometry of the world. By the end of the year will be a new world currency. This is why they get rid of all the money quickly. I'm going to let the love flow like a bird on a wing and let love grow. The stronger things. So I found this on the internet today. It's describing in word the Merkabah, its functions, what it is, how it works, so forth, and the like. Here we go. But first, I want to grab this link who I got this information from because it's of their creation and they deserve me to post this link. This is the Merkabah, what it is, how it functions, and all that cool gravy on your biscuits kind of stuff. The Merkabah is an extremely powerful symbol. It is a combination of two star tetrahedrons, one pointing up to the heavens, channeling energy down from the universe to the earth plane, and one pointing downwards, drawing energy up from the earth beneath. The top, or the upward pointing tetrahedron, is male and rotates clockwise. Remember that rotation I told you about? It rotates clockwise. With the bottom, or downwards pointing one being female and rotates counterclockwise. But they surround each other. They overlap each other. That's the thing. It's a ring within a ring. Like you would see at a circus kind of idea. Merkabah energy field. What does Merkabah mean? The word Merkabah, I'm going to just call it Merkabah instead of Merkabah and going back and forth. The word Merkabah can be broken down thus. M-E-R, mer, rotating fields of light, ka, the spirit, and ba, the soul. This is taken from the 18th dynasty Egyptian translation, and in Hebrew it means chariot. Place yourself in the energy field, launch yourself into creation. Therefore, Merkabah means the spirit or energy body surrounding by counter-rotating fields of light or spirals of energy, as with a strand of DNA, which transports spirit or consciousness from one dimension to another. What is a Merkabah? A Merkabah is a light body vehicle and is the key to understanding how to move from one dimensional level to another. It is the divine light vehicle supposedly used by ascended masters to connect with. And I'm going to share with you something from the divine principle about Master Jesus and the Merkabah as well. Stay tuned. It's gorgeous. This is used by the masters to connect with and reach those in tune with higher realms. When this shape is activated around your body, you are in a place of complete protection. There's a 5G tower behind my house, 500 feet. and its majesty. I use it to broadcast. I am protected. I live in the confidence of I am here to do work. I'm good. I'm happy. Raises your energy beyond anything harmful. When this shape is activated around your body, you are in a place of complete protection, with the surrounding energy being generated from pure love. Wow! It is believed that with practice, using the energy and shape visualization of the Merkabah, you can activate an energy field around you, which is capable of carrying your consciousness directly to higher realms, to the higher realms of glory, as it is called. When meditating, try sitting holding a Merkabah or a picture yourself inside this shape, with two tetrahedrons rotating as described just a moment ago. It takes some practice, but it eased greatly by actually having a Merkabah. It will ease greatly if you actually have a Merkabah to focus on. Maybe you can get on YouTube or somewhere and find a video of a Merkabah just spinning, or a gyroscope, and just use it as your trigger. When achieved, you will be sitting in a place of complete protection, harmony, and universal balance. Platonic solids and sacred geometry. Platonic solids are shapes which form part of the sacred geometry. They were first cataloged by the ancient philosopher Plato, hence the name, Platonic. Although evidence of these most magical of shapes have been found around the world in excess of over 1,000 years prior to Plato's documentation. They are made of the 5 convex polyhedra, hexahedron, the cube, octahedron, double inverted pyramid, tetrahedron, pyramid, on and on and on. The names are derived from the numbers of sides each shape has: 4, 6, 8, 12, and 20, respectively. These first 4 shapes correspond to the elements: earth, air, fire, water, with the 5th representing heaven, ether, or the universe. The flower of life is the geometrical figure composed of evenly spaced overlapping circles, arranged so that they form a flower-like pattern. Each circle has 6 folded. I can continue with the mathematical stuff, but I want to create just the simple image. There's the link. Follow it. Take from it what you need. I want to read you something, as I mentioned, from my bestseller, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. If you have not read this book, it's a sales pitch. But when you read it, you will realize this is not a sales pitch. That's a Merkabah. That's what this is. This is a Merkabah. It opens the door because it spins you into something that I was complacent to that point in my life as well. This would be a Merkabah. But the Merkabah being the actual Merkabah, the engine of light, the light vehicle, that when you become aware of it and begin to spin it, things begin to happen. From the Divine Principle, my dialogue with God about Jesus. As you all embrace and use Christ's principles, a beautiful garment, a multi-hued crystalline system made up of the self's subtle energies will enfold you. Once you become aware of it, this light vehicle called the Merkabah will be at your disposal. Hello, Lisa Farmer. Hello, Sue Lindsay. And I asked Spirit, what's its purpose? The Merkabah is what masters have used and still use to transport themselves through different dimensions of the creator mind. It has infinite functions and can morph into anything. For it is not bound by a particular biotrack or body type. The Merkabah is absolutely amazing. Basically, the Merkabah can break the rules. It's not bound by a particular biotrack or body type. It is formless and can do anything at your will. And I asked God, is there more? And he says, oh, but of course there is, Keith. Then I said, please tell me. When you become a master, you too will be able to tune light frequencies in and out to create just what you desire, or even travel through the universe to watch a star being born. Hello, Natalie. As you are starting to realize, you have all sorts of power at your fingertips. Soon, there will be no limits to what you can do. When Jesus ascended from your world, he was fully aware of his light. Because both you and he were born human. Wow! That is the most dynamic piece of information I've read tonight. And it has the greatest, it's a Merkabah. It has the greatest bang. When Jesus ascended from your world, he was fully aware of his light. Everyone has to agree with that, no matter where you come from. But because both you and he were born human, his life should show you how it is possible for you to become one with God just as he did. During his time on earth, Jesus taught those around him that death is not the end of one's journey, that everyone resides in spirit, and in spirit he and they would remain forever. But he knew his words were not enough to convince his disciples of everlasting life. So 3 days after his crucifixion, he decided to help them work through their doubts. He appeared in spirit so that what he spoke of, the Lord before them as the light, they had no choice but to see. But what appeared before them was not what they are accustomed to seeing. What they saw was his light body, not his body in physical form. As the light, he spoke to them, saying, touch me not, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. But go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father, your Father, and to my God, and your God. Jesus personified the same Christ energy that is now being woven around all who choose to ground and align. Your Merkabahs are beginning to spin faster and faster, slowly unleashing 12 strands of encoded and activated DNA. Through such a process, power long dormant will soon be yours. Hello, Sana. Hello, Judy. And I ask Spirit, how many of us are ready? Millions. Yes, many involved ones will achieve divine status with complete soul memory and wisdom intact. Their collective light will then be the beacon that call to all those still lost in the sea of humanity, casting about in the fog of fear. And Earth is also generating her light. She too is becoming a beacon for all the ships still adrift in the galactic sea. The Merkabah. You open yourself up with intention, with love, the feelings of deservingness. You want real power? I'll hand you some. Do you feel you deserve such grace? Your answer immediately tells you. Who is speaking that answer into your consciousness? That's the question. Do I deserve that love? And you might hear, yes, I do. But if I never would have, if I should. You're not there yet. But it's beautiful that you're efforting to simplify. It's really simple. And in so do, you have the least effort, which allows you to touch the magic, not the tragic, within yourself. And you become aware of your light body. I can spin mine right now and I can feel it. And you can maybe even feel it. Because light is everywhere. It's embodied in all things. It's all the same light. I'm affecting you on many different levels. Even with this crystal ball, putting a light behind it changes it. And then I'm telling you this, on top of it, it changes that. So we're all moving through time and space. And God knows what kind of redonkulous speeds. The field is all around you. And it requires one to feel it all around you. And when you do, don't be so surprised that you can touch it and you feel it. Is that really real? Yes, it's real. You're doing it. You're doing it anyway, even unconsciously. When you break your toe and your pinky toe on a piece of furniture that your wife bought you didn't know was there. You came home late from work. The light was off. Unconsciousness causes trouble. Consciousness opens up the bubble of all that is amazing, powerful, and possible. The question really simply just becomes, no matter your walk, talk, faith, code, creed, or sect, it's all irrelevant. Doesn't matter what you call these things. It doesn't matter what you call these presentations or the words I use. I use different words. Sometimes I use the same word because I know it works and it's effective, and I can use it to push, to open up a little bit. You might hear people say in the spiritual movement, you're not supposed to push. I don't mean pushing like trying to convince you of something by forcing it upon you. I'm just coming through very passionately and saying, listen, if you're professing that you want such a thing as to why you're in this forum, then you're asking this teacher to say, show me how much you love me because nothing has worked yet. I'm going to push. You keep telling me you want to jump off the cliff into the river. 1, 2, 3, go, and you don't. 1, 2, 3, go, and you don't. If I'm standing next to you and you 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't go, I'm going to nudge you. I'm going to fudge you over the cliff. Fall into the space. Fall in. Fall. Just fall. That's it. No matter. You're done. Your spiritual journey is over. You're not going anywhere. You're on a spiritual, infinite journey to absolutely nowhere. You're not going anywhere except down. You want to go down. You want to fall inside, which is truly an inward destination. It's not really a down. So don't think I'm talking about going to hell. It's inward. You go inward. The question you should ask yourself is, how far am I into myself that I'm living my life from? You can't go any deeper until you become conscious of the dark aspect of yourself that's blocking you from the light. Again, like I said last night, this is purity. This represents God, that which is all pure, that which is the core of everything, the center of all creation. And that thing, that majesty is within us. Let's say this represents us, you, me, we. You, me, your mom, your dad, your brother, your neighbor, your cousin. So it's a whole bunch of we's that are connected to one hand that everything extends from in the first place. Take the hand away, there are no fingers. So this is what we think we are, though, in this analogous way, is this, that which is in the forefront. But we can't see Creator because it's the monkey, is in the way, and it wants to dictate everything. Words, ideas, religion, what we think is true, what we think is false, what we think is holy, what we think is blasphemous, possible or impossible. It's all nonsense. It's all shit. It's just absolute complete nonsense. It doesn't mean anything unless what you want it to mean. That's called free will. That's called being a human being and governing with your sovereignty your life in the direction you want to, conscious or unconscious. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing else at all. When we begin to do the work, you're left with that. You become the observer. You become the Christ principle. He called you brother or sister, didn't he? That's the gig. There is no other gig. You can continue to go to your church. By all means do. I support that you do, and because it's about fellowship. It's about connecting with others of like minds, like hearts, people who support you as a tribe and a family. Why would anyone ever want you to not do that? That's gorgeous. Congrats if you're doing that. I'm happy for you. But it's not required. There is no requirement except you can open up yourself with such intention, passion, sincerity, humility, be willing to die, and vulnerability. I've said this many times. And the initial chime lasts forever. Listen. That is your father, mother, principal saying, I love you. When are you going to play the game? So what we do, we find the spiritual mallet that begins to resonate the tines of our soul. So our parent recognizes, hey, babe, you got a phone call. It's your kid. And this begins to happen. And infinitely, you begin to resound back to your parent who called you for supper. Come on in the house, y'all. It's time for supper. Listen to that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? That is called spiritual energy. It's called energy, period. Everything's spiritual. There's nothing that is not spiritual. So when you go inside yourself, tonight's presentation is Center of Light, sit and spin. You can just do this simply sitting. There is no right way to meditate. Yes, certain meditations, certain principles that you learn. Hello, Anna. Hello, Kelly. Yes, there are certain principles in meditations or any spiritual principle that you learn that worked for someone. It'll work. But you are not required to do something to achieve bliss. Some people is Jesus. I love it. I love me some G. Some people is to sit and look at a beautiful sunset. Don't you think the Christ principle is inherent in that beautiful sunset? And it's being called a sunset and not the Christ principle? It's all the same. Beauty is beauty no matter what it's called. You know, you can look at a rose and go, oh my God, that's beautiful. You can look at a sunset and go, oh my God, it's beautiful. How do you separate beauty from beauty? You don't. We just use words to describe the experience you're having. That's the human dynamic. That's called using the mind in balance, congruent. Using the mind as a tool versus it making you a slave. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then we start listening to the mind, making us a slave. But it requires the brave to brave the wilderness, to get out of the nonsense. And I keep using that word because it's the most powerful, absolute true word when your eye opens, when your heart opens, when the Merkabah begins to spin and you find yourself in this field of light. I'm in a field of light right now. I can literally feel that I am moving through the universe on this rock, in this solar system, in this galaxy, in this universe, moving through infinite space at whatever thousands of miles per second. I don't feel that. I mean, I'm not like hanging on like the Memorex guy being blown back from the music. What I'm saying is I feel a constant movement. It's constant. And I can feel when things change. I might not know what they all call them always. But I go inside and I intuit. I go into the Merkabah. The Merkabah houses everything. But in this regard, how we are speaking of the Merkabah is blasting off. Using the Merkabah to sit and spin. So how do you do it? You don't have to follow about how. When I had the door open for me and wrote this for 8 years, meditation between 6 and 9 hours a day. Every day, I sat there in quiet. The point is, that's a Merkabah. My intention opened up something that brought everything to me. And it began to speak to me in ways I would understand. My ears, I can hear it audibly. I could smell it, I could taste it, I could see it. I could see it in the movement of beautiful human beings shuffling about as I go throughout my day. I heard the language. And it's not English. And I heard the religion. And it's not the one you choose. If you will. The religion is love. There is no other path. Let me show you this one thing that I've always used. And it's always on point, no matter the teaching, the lesson, or just as a meditation. What a great meditation this would be. No matter your religion, no matter your culture, no matter if you're vegan, vegetarian, or carnivore, it's all irrelevant. This is the one truth. If God is love, this is radical transformation. This is opening up the gate, beginning to spin the Merkabah like crazy. Hello, Ben. Hello, Juan. Radical transformation. If God is love, then it's about developing the love within to the level God is. That's how you open up the door. So those 4 components I was going to name with you before I rung the bell. Passion. I wanted it. I wanted it. My life was a shithole. I wanted it. Passion. And I was sincere about it. I was like, trying to find the subtle. Passion is the fire. It's the roll up your sleeve and get your hands dirty kind of energy. Get in there and fix this car. And the sincerity was, please. I mean it. I'm sincere. And the humility was getting down on my knees and making myself subservient. That I don't know shit. Obviously, I wouldn't have been in my serious way if I did. And then making myself vulnerable to expose myself to something new, something different, something that was promising. I was in a dark night of the soul, y'all. And you see, if you really want another nugget of truth, none of that even matters either. That's all irrelevant. I could call it this book. I can call it Jesus. I can call it Swamiji. I can call it Source. I can call it the Creator. I can call it I Am. That is all noise. I'm not saying it's not sacred. It's part of the sacred dance back to our divine parent. What I am saying to you, here's a truth nugget for you. It's nothing. There is nothing. And in that nothing exists your consciousness. There is nothing else. The reason you're not experiencing it is because of what I said earlier. Here's our purity. It's at the essence of it's all creation, in fact. And this is what we think we are. All this stuff in the head. Santa Claus is real. Come to find out he's not. Well, you sure believed it, didn't you? It's a beautiful belief, wasn't it? Oh, boy, I want me some Santa Claus. I'm going to go to bed early tonight. It's all a beautiful story. The absolute truth is, there is no absolute truth, but the existence of you. How easy is that? It scares you, doesn't it? That do I dare meditate on such beauty? I dare you to meditate on such beauty. And that door will open. It has no choice. It doesn't say, well, I kind of believe him. Let me go down there and pay him a visit. That's not what happens. When you fall into that sacred spot of, I want it. I'm serious about it. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Take me by law. In fact, by the law of existence itself becomes present. Not because it's not present already. It's because you become present of your own hyper supra self that occupies every square expanse of infinity that never ends. The Merkabah is your automobile with a fresh tank of gas, unless you're driving a Tesla, and you're fulfilled, and you can hammer on that pedal, right? So, Center of Light, tonight we're talking about the Merkabah, how to be a part of that Merkabah, letting it spin, being in the field, being in the gate. Spiritual friends, tribe, please hear me. Ceremony, ritual, this, that, it's gorgeous. Never lose your humanity and your expression of where you came from and how you like to celebrate the highest possibility, which is the highest you. It exists within you, does it not? That which lives within you creates worlds and universes. There's no escape from that. You can't escape from that. You can be upset about it. You can go tell your mom, there's nothing she can do about it either. You admit that God is within each and every person. Masters have said it throughout time. I am in my Father is in me, and I am in you. So all of that is in you. So that which creates universes and worlds lives simply right inside. Simply right inside. Everything else is noise. Now, what happens is, as we expand spiritually, we begin to move through more subtler and subtler layers of distortions towards this level of clarity. And when you achieve this level of clarity, the game is over. Ready Player One. It's it. It's it. So how do you activate your Merkabah? Yes, you can do it in the celestial, ultra-celestial, the angelic way. They open up their arms like the Vitruvian man, the man from Leonardo da Vinci. The Merkabah, the gate. You open up this through intention. You open up the fire in your belly, the power center at your navel chakra, the third chakra. You open it up. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. It's gorgeous. Look at all the sacred geometry in this particular image. The Merkabah or the Merkabah, the down triangle with the point down is heaven reaching down, bringing you the Father. You reaching up is the mother energy. And as they interconnect, they bring us back to the center point, which is heaven and earth. In fact, if you look at the life of Jesus, in his most vulnerable, listen to this. They call it the passion of the Christ. Here's the 4 principles. The passion, like I just described, passion, the fire, the Sacred Heart. Every time you see the Sacred Heart, it's surrounded by fire. He was passionate about this mission he was going to carry out. The passion. Passion. Then he was sincere. He had to be sincere to be hanging on a crucifix for 6 plus whatever hours. He was sincere. Father, Mother, I will do this because you asked. Humble, he had to be. And vulnerable. He exposed his core to transmute the dark energy of humanity as it literally passed through his body. Please, it's a beautiful model to see it as he died for my sins. There is a more beautiful model, which is that's included, but to understand it in a more fulfilling way is the dark energy, hate, anger, jealousy, unconsciousness, ignorance of humanity passed through his entire being so that his pure heart of divine fire can simply dissipate it. That's the metaphysical component to what he did. He opened himself up so this energy can move through him so he can clean the slate for humanity to have another shot. And here we sit, truly, and the door being completely wide open. So as we look at the life of Christ, we see him in this position. And here's the 4 components. Passion, the passion of the Christ. He's passionate. Sincere. Yes, I'll do this. Humbled himself through all of humanity to be completely of service as a teacher. And he exposed himself. So here's the heaven coming down, the cross plane that goes this way, and here's the horizontal plane, the earth going across. Heaven on earth. And as he was crucified, where did those 2 planes intersect? Right there. That's the Stargate. That's the Sacred Heart that he has always spoken about throughout the course of his life. And that we now famously see him and his mother Mary both pointing to the gate. Not just Jesus. So automatically Mary enters the equation. Like, somebody else can now have it too, because my mom has it. She's pictured with me. Look at her. She's doing the same thing. And they're both pointing to the sacred. That which is sacred. That's what is not for everyone. Which not everyone will get. And depending on how many lifetimes or experiences throughout infinity one may take upon themselves to experience. In fact, everyone is on the journey and will get there. Some just speed up their process via intention and wanting it by being passionate, sincere, humble, and vulnerable. That's it. The game's over. There's no other game. When you become clear of mind, when you become the observer, and there's no more monkey. You tired of the zoo? You tired of the circus? Get away from monkeys. You can't run away from the monkey. So what you got to do is appease him with knowledge and help him to understand that when you as the spirit get what you want, because spirit is always seen as creator, so the spirit you that has the muster, the cojones, to go out and get that thing, when you explain that to your noisy monkey mind, he will shut up. I will get it. When I get what you want, trust me, monkey, I want the same thing. It may not come in that way, but I want the same thing. I want to have the same feeling you're griping at me about getting. When you let me get it, I'll be the first to say, here's your banana. In fact, I bought you a whole case. He will shut up. But don't go at yourself with killing the monkey. He will shut up. In one regard, but it'll get louder. So the Merkabah is not necessarily spinning the energy, but I would love you to try it. I would love you to get on YouTube. You don't have to follow. If you're just not so creative and inventive, get on YouTube. Find Merkabah meditation. It'd be gorgeous. And get into some breath work. Fall, 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 inside, inside, inside. Inward is upward, was forward, is twoward. In brings me up. The energy begins to move. The Merkabah begins to spin, which is forward. Now I'm launching toward whatever destination it is I want. I'm in a Merkabah right now. You're in a Merkabah right now. And we're a collective Merkabahs right now. Now everybody's spinning in their own way, but we are a group that has a collective Merkabah doing its thing. And then there are other groups that have bigger Merkabahs spinning, doing its thing. And it's all math and geometry. It's all Christ principle. Everything is connected. Everything has a sacred geometry shape. Everything is on point. Everything is on purpose. Everything is headed towards a somewhere, which is nowhere except the experience that one is able to create for themselves in the present moment. Yes, I live my life linearly as well. We do a certain something to get a certain something. We go to a job or something we love so many times a week to make whatever money. I understand it. Welcome to the human experience. I'm having fun of you. But if we're so wanting to be of a higher nature of who we really are, there are no rules. There are no rules. You don't have to call it a this or that. You don't have to do a this or that, except 4 things. Now, some thises and that's can help you, but they are still imbued and infused with 4 things. I'm telling you, this teaching that I'm offering to you, and for the last 15, 20 minutes, you won't find anywhere. You will find it other ways, but it might be watered down. Sounds like I'm bragging. No, I'm not. I know the lessons I've learned. I know the teacher who have taught me, and I'm grateful and humbling myself, and I'm passionate about it, and I'm very sincere. And I'm making myself vulnerable by opening myself up to you to say, I love you. I want you to have, if you don't, what I have gotten. And if you have something for me, please send it to me. I'll accept it. There is no other teaching. There's nothing else except these 4 principles. And they only create one. They're actually one with 4 fragments. Passion will get you anything you want. Sincerity will hurry it up. Humility is what opens the door so you can touch it. And vulnerability will set it within you because you have become crystal clear. Crystal clear is what makes your Merkabah spin. But you can begin to spin it, which in turn reverse the polarities. Spin the Merkabah and practice it doing it that way. And you will realize that there's work of clarity to do to be able to get it to go faster. But once you recognize what it is and how to do it, the intuitive door begins to open and you begin to understand. Oh my God, I remember this from some ancient time. It just somehow makes sense to you. How will it be able to make sense to you if it wasn't in you in the first place to remember it? No one's ever putting information into you. They're reminding you of something you already know via the words they are using or via the words you are reading or the actions they are performing, and you just taking it in with your eyes. Completely different way of seeing things, isn't it? It's a whole different reality. Your life will change if you understand these very simple models and these diagrams and these sacred geometric patterns I'm laying out for you. Everything is inverted. It's not true. None of this is real. It's only real by the willpower I've given it. Yes, it's real, Keith. You break your toe in the outside world. Are you not on the floor holding your toe screaming? Well, of course, I understand that for that moment. But when you begin to see everything as reversed, invert the process. Oh my God, that's not real. We understand things that we describe as beautiful by calling this, that, and the other thing. It's all the same thing. Beauty is beauty. Love is love. Peace is peace. It doesn't matter the vessel or the expression of it and who and or where or what it comes from or through. Doesn't matter. That's all part of the filter. It's beautiful that you can see. Do you want to see the whole thing? You want to see the whole thing? Move all the stuff out the way. And it says, it's like putting a cloth over a speaker. You can still hear it, right? You can hear it. This band sounds pretty good. Yeah, this band sounds pretty good. This band sounds pretty good. This band sounds pretty good. And all of a sudden, things become clear. This is the reason I'm giving these teachings for the last 2 and 3 nights, and more so again tonight, playing with this crystal ball that my brother Robert Harrison gave me. I'm so grateful. It's because it's where I'm at. I can't divulge, share, offer, express something that is not passionate, sincere, humbling, and vulnerable for me. And in this regard, these last 3 teachings, for me, are truly that. I'm feeling the field. I've always felt the field, but I have to squint. Yeah, this field's there now. Ooh, I'm in the field. It's changing. I had a shift last night. I completely shifted. And I felt the whole shebang. And in the grace of that, as I said last night, when you become walking, graceful ambiance,
She turned to me and told me life was not too easy unless you can let go. I lay surprised at the simpleness of her soul. Wasting away in a sea of uncertainty. She had stayed with me for days. I needed love in so many different ways. And as I watched, she floated through the room. And as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. turned away. Her light was so blinding, the energy of her love. She said goodbye and turned into a dove. As I watched, she floated through the room. And as I cried, she was there to dry them too. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Hold me and don't let go. Hold me, never leave. Never leave. She turned to me, told me life was not too easy unless you can let go. Reveal to me the beauty of your soul.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Let me put some music on. Actually, I don't need any music. I love music. I'm a musician too. Center of Light. Tonight we have been talking about the Merkabah. I want to go through, before I close, been here for a while. I'm passionate. I'm sincere and humble and vulnerable. I just love being with you. What is the Merkabah? The Merkabah is a light vehicle. We're 98.6 degrees, so we're radiating heat. If you go out into a 98 degree day, sun, and it's 98 degrees temperature outside, you're going, whew, that's a lot of energy. So likewise, you're 98.6 degrees. So you have this bioenergetic field around you. Some people call it the aura. But it's that, but it's more. When we begin to move this field of light, this light vehicle, it's also an engine of light, this Christ body that's around everyone. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. So we're all a part of this big cosmic light family. Some have achieved that state of omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. Others are still working on it. So we're speaking about the Merkabah. And this is what the Merkabah looks like in certain religious cultures, though in other ways it may be called something else and look a little different. It is a vehicle of light. Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, his arms are wide open, the power center in a solar plexus. His arms are out like Jesus. You see the cross plane coming down, the earth plane going across, kind of idea. You see all this sacred geometry, tree of life, same idea. The Merkabah is a vehicle that transports the human being, the soul, into any dimension of the higher spiritual mind that the being chooses. That's why you see it in front of a galaxy. The Merkabah, here we go, another image. and the star tetrahedron. And so this is one way to do it. And I really suggest, why not? I mean, you're aspiring to become a spiritually illumined being. Aren't we all trying to become spiritually liberated? Even people who continue to bind themselves unconsciously. Everyone wants something, and they want joy. That's why people do what they do. Even if it makes them miserable. They don't know any other way. But they are seeking joy, some sort of pleasure through some sort of thing. And so, and I want to acknowledge quickly, hi Rachel, hi Sherry, Jeff on YouTube. Rachel, I want to speak with you shortly if you're still here. Rachel, if you're here, send me an exclamation point, please. It requires you to send me an exclamation point so I know that you're here so I can share with you, dear. But this one field is around all of us, and it wants to move. Its nature is to move. We're the ones slowing it down with the noise. For the last few presentations I went through, this is what we ultimately want to become. Everyone is looking to become that, empty, which fulfills us with everything that is ever possible. Rachel, I come to you. Many times you have shown up in my forums and sharing with me, and God bless you, dear, about this pain that you have been carrying around with you for a while. Rachel, I want to address you because I care about you. I want you to have that joy. But it requires you to put into practice the 4 elements of what I just spoke about. There can be no, yeah, but as soon as you interject with, yeah, but you've missed your window of opportunity. Well, you don't understand. You've missed your window of opportunity. Because no matter what path you take, be it medicine, be it spiritual, a little bit of both, or whatever it may be, it always requires 4 key components for the energy to work. You have to be passionate about wanting to get better. I'm not saying you're not. Please don't take it that way. I'm never trying to trivialize your precious sacred situation. You have to be sincere. You have to be humbled, and you have to be vulnerable. If you truly have these components, everything, all the cylinders begin to fire off a lot easier. I've offered you many times, and the door is still open for you, to speak with me. Sometimes our paths have just missed. If you have an opening and I can get to you, darling, I will reach back to you. Okay? But I know you well enough to know that it's going to require from you one of those components for sure. It's the one that's making it the most tough for you. It's to take what you think and or believe to be happening and be willing to look at it one last time and tossing it in the trash. Until then, it's going to be tough for you. I want you to hear that from my heart. You have to look at what you think it is, first and foremost, what you think is happening, how you think you need to deal with it, and what's going to take to fix it. And if not, I'm out of luck. Today's your lucky day. That's for you, dear. So we've been talking about the Merkabah in the formal form, and I do invite everyone to get on YouTube. Why not? Everyone wants to aspire to become joyful. So do that. Go on YouTube and look up Merkabah meditation. Merkabah. It's spelled M-E-R-K-A-B-A-H. In fact, I'm going to grab it just to make it easy on everyone. There you go. Do a Merkabah meditation. Watch what happens. Simply watch what happens. You do it often enough, you get good at it. You don't need the meditation anymore. You can naturally feel your light spinning around you all the time, as well as everyone else. How cool does that sound? And along with the feeling comes something else. You can manipulate it. You can play with it. You can mold it like clay into something beautiful. You can sculpture not only your physical life here, but the spiritual dimensions that live within you in a very fruitful way. So the way you do that is those models, lessons, spiritual love nuggets, my God, of infinite, instant illumination. Nothing is true. That's the truth. Nothing is true. That's the truth. But you. You are the truth. At your essence, all that exists is you. There's nothing else. Well, Keith, that sounds a little majestic and grandiose right now. I don't know if I can swallow that much bread in one chew. You have to be passionate, sincere, humble, and vulnerable to ever try it. We've choked on bread before. We've all had it happen. But when we become conscious of how we, so to speak, swallow and no longer wallow, it gets good. It gets really, really good. That you don't have to do anything, literally nothing. I can sit here and do nothing. I don't have to worry about money. It's gone. Doesn't mean you're not concerned, nor are you irresponsible. Hello, Fawn. It means you're done. I'm just done. It may cost me my life, but I'm done. It may not cost you your life. Maybe it's a shift that one needs is to entertain that is this situation, this spiritual lesson truly about the survival of my body? When the answer becomes no, it doesn't mean you have to jump off a cliff and kill yourself. It means that your tables have shifted from priority. You go from this to that. By going here, you go there. And you begin this dance, and the Merkabah, your energy field around you begins to move, and in which you are protected. And you become one of the selected by you doing the selecting of yourself and placing yourself in the game quite nicely. That's it. There's nothing else. Call it what you like. Ritual, however you choose. Ceremony, however you choose. Dance, whatever dance you choose. Love song or the blues. Buy a brand new pair of shoes or go barefoot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you call God. It doesn't matter how you look, how it looks. None of that matters. Even rituals don't matter. You create your own. This feels good to me. I like this. Then you're in your essence. That's what's going to have the greatest bang. I like a little bit of what I was taught, but I want to add this spin to it. That's how recipes are created. Someone has this thing and someone puts a twist and they call it a this with a that. And next thing you know, everybody who's eating the food's going, dog, let me tell you, can I have a second helping? It's all metaphorical. It's all just observation and experience. So when, in closing, when we become that, that's it. There is nothing else. You may love the human dynamic. I do. You can have both. Heaven on earth. When you passionate, sincere, humble, and vulnerable, your Merkabah begins to spin. I suggest get on YouTube. A couple of you are there now. While you're there, everyone just get on YouTube and type in Merkabah meditation or Merkabah practice. I'm sure you would have some expert who would lovingly, for free, say, breathe in, breathe out. Spend 10, 15 minutes, have yourself a beautiful experience. Then you will come to understand you are quite larger than you ever realized. Get used to that. In fact, you walking around your house, even though you're not doing the formal meditation, until you can sit down that night and do it, you're walking around your house and you're just imagining the spin around you. You will start to feel it. The Merkabah. This position looks familiar. The Da Vinci Man, the man, Jesus. The want to open up and grab life, to grab a person you care about. To be in the field, to fire up the engine. It's about passion. You got to be passionate. You got to want it beyond anything. That cracks the concrete. Become empty. Become yourself. Everything else does not matter. It simply does not matter. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It might matter to some people because that's what they're interested in having a personal experience with. And some people, it's not just an experience. Some people, it's a lesson. So it's not choice. Choice was made a long time ago for them. Now it's consequence. And some people simply choose to go do something what someone else might call, man, that's crazy. Some people are daredevils. Some people like, what do they call them? Thrill ride people? What do they call them? Thrill junkies? Some people call that crazy. Imagine the exhilaration and the fun they're having, living at the edge of what they know, anyone knows as life, moving into unknown territory. It takes a brave soul to want to connect with Divine Parent, because everything about you to ever know the purity and clarity of the absolution of the universe requires everything that we know as ourselves simply to die. Peace, love, and light. I love you. Take care of yourself. Do what you got to do while you're on the earth. Play by the earth rules. Find yourself in all of this madness. Some people choose madness, gladness, or sadness. You know what to do. I believe in you. You're loved beyond measure. Peace, love, and light.